Well, we're back with segment number 3, talking autographs, particularly autographed baseballs, and not a lot of depth around the players per se. Could pull out a lot of different stats and memories there, but it's really more about an interesting collection. Not that I'm a big collector, it's just things that you collected over time just by virtue of the game being that much more approachable in the younger years, or even maybe up to 2000, but as time has gone on, it gets harder and harder to get autographs, and in large measure, a lot of these autographs are during the era where my son Drew was playing baseball at a younger age, now in college playing baseball, but at those younger age, been to a lot of different kind of games and all that kind of stuff. But this one, I'm going to give a shout out to Michael Carney. So Michael Carney is somebody I grew up with, played a lot of baseball, wiffle ball, and just to digress for a moment, you know, it's one of those things that when you're a kid, you really watched all the different players and you emulated the stances from Rod Carew to Reggie to whoever it may have been. You could go on and on and on, but Michael Carney is a friend of mine that I grew up with back in New York, and you know, you'd think that since I'm talking so much about the Yankees, I'd be a Met hater. While I'm certainly a big fan of the Yankees and been to a lot of the playoffs and World Series by one degree of fortune or another over the many years since '69. You know, Michael Carney, we would go to his house. We'd play wiffle ball, and I think in his sister's backyard, back behind his backyard, it was one of those things. If you batted left-handed with the wiffle ball bat, it was a home run if you got it over. Obviously, right-handed you couldn't, and those kind of things. And then we'd also play stickball up the park and all those kind of things. But this is kind of a tribute to Michael Carney as well and his family, in that as much as my father grew up in the Bronx and all that, Michael Carney had tickets to the Mets, and so here's a really cool autographed baseball. Bert Campaneris, Campy Campaneris, shortstop for the Oakland A's, and so from a memory standpoint, again, I was up at Cooperstown, and there was a few guys hanging around, and he was there for some autographs, to be able to sign some autographs. But a lot of great memories. One, again, a good friend, Michael Carney, who I had an opportunity to go to a lot of different Met games, and certainly that was back in the day when '69, when you talk about how people can approach the field today. If there's a World Series, the second there's a be close to the last out, you have a whole army around the field, and no one's getting on the field. But in '69, and actually these are really great teams, both the A's and the Mets, you know, in '69 obviously, but you had the A's with you know, Campaneris, Sal Bando at third, Gene Tennis at first. You had Reggie, and some great pitchers for the Oakland A's, Vita Blue and things of that nature. But really cool games there. But in '69, I'll never forget, because we were there when they won it all. After the game, there literally was nothing left of the stadium. The only thing left at the stadium for the most part was, you know, some metal structures of sorts. It's exaggeration, but everything from dirt to pieces of the fence at Shea Stadium were all torn off and taken. Pretty crazy. But those are really amazing memories from '69 and other times when I think we didn't play hooky. We had permission. I think it was '73. I'm trying to think, but maybe Michael Carney can, via this post, be able to provide some additional memories. But remember in grammar school that we got out of class and we were able to see some of those day games, because that's when the games were. They were day games, and you know, the A's were kind of hated, and obviously the Mets were upstarts trying to make it. But pretty amazing playoffs and World Series, I think '69 as well as '73. But really cool autographed baseball there, Bert Campaneris. So that's segment number 3. We'll move on to segment number 4 shortly, regarding autographed baseballs. And unfortunately, not a lot of great opportunity to play baseball right now, other than the fact that the weather's great, but the virus is getting in the way. But we'll be right back.